Hey guys, beautiful people. Andrew the Realtor here with my December 2022, the last of 2022 housing market update. So you're probably getting this in the newsletter or via YouTube. Before I start, because most of you, only a few of you get this, less of you actually watch the full video. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you to all of those who are clients who are watching this. It has been a heck of an interesting year, for better or for worse, for some of my clients and myself. But we made through it. We made it through, I should say. And nothing else. I wanted to thank all of you very much for the support, for the questions, for the encouragement in terms of the video and business and otherwise. And I just wanted to say thank you. I'm appreciative of all the clients, of anyone that has given me any input, a positive or critical, into my business. And so I appreciate all of you very, very much, and I appreciate those of you who watch us on a regular basis. In all seriousness, that just kind of that's my personality. I want to get that out there before I actually get to the meat of it. So 2022 December. Kind of not even going to do a full year wrap up because you guys have gotten so much information from me already on a monthly basis. I'm going to talk about some interesting things, including inflation. So, as always, two of the reasons I do these: one is to provide information and value to my former clients and my associates, those of you who watch us on a regular basis, and you folks on YouTube as well. Thank you very much for watching this. I want to provide information that is valuable to you right now, something you can probably put away for later. And you know what you can do also? You can watch this maybe a year later or 6 months down the line and let me know if I was correct in terms of my forecast. The second reason I do it is for those of you who might be on the fence, or maybe people that you know that might be on the fence in terms of whether they should enter the market or not. I want to provide enough information for those people to make an educated and a confident move in one way or the other. And so, without any further ado, I think that's probably more than enough. Let me minimize myself at least to the middle here, and we're going to start with that. I pointed the right way. So, market stats before I get to the kind of a slightly more forecasting and more interesting stuff. So, specifically, month of November, last month. I know we're well into December and it's almost Christmas time. However, I wanted to get this out after the inflation numbers came out, which was just this morning, December 21st. So, to have a look, let's have a look at November here. So the things you'll notice quite often, and I circle them both here, is of course we're down almost 50% in terms of sales for the month, and we're down on average price. Now, the 50% is obviously the number you're going to see more than anything else in terms of articles and such, markets plummeting, da 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 da. Those are sales compared to a very crazy, the craziest actually, month of November, and certainly the craziest year in the history of real estate sales in the Greater Toronto Area, and that's over 100 years. So again, these numbers are not very good. So in terms of homes sold overall, I'll show you some numbers in the next slide in terms of what's been happening in November's for the past few years in terms of the year as well. Overall, it's actually it's a slow November. It's nothing crazy. It's not 50%. It's more like maybe 25% down from what would be a normal November. Now, what else would you expect when you've had the biggest increases in interest rates in, I think, history, or certainly in the past 20 or 30 years, in terms of having how fast it went from what it was in the beginning of the year now to what, well over 4% in terms of Bank of Canada. So that's important to note as well. And of course, we're getting worse weather now. We're into December. November was decent weather, but the numbers are naturally going to be going down because it's the holidays. So one of the important things is also not to mention not only the fact that there's a lot less sales, but this red line here that I circled, the red circle here, that's the active listings. So that is how many listings are actually out on the market, homes and condos that were available on the market in November. So notice the difference this year, almost 12,000. I will remind you, 20,000 is a balanced market. Active listings, 20,000 active listings is a balanced market. So no, we have not been in a balanced market at all this year. In fact, we haven't been in one in quite a few years. So in terms of anything being an official buyer's market, no, not even close. However, there's clearly a big difference in terms of inventory. So last year, November of 2021, we had just over 6,000 active listings. This year, basically double. So again, almost 100% more. That's a big difference. When you've got this many less sales and this much more inventory, clearly things are going to be sitting longer, which explains this: 33 days on average for the property versus 18, so double basically. And it shows why the prices are down a little bit. Now, this 7.2% has to be taken in context, which is why I have the monthly. This is November, last month, 2022, versus October 22. The purpose of this is showing you this. From October to November, look at the huge, there's almost no difference at all. Minus 0.7% on average. In fact, I wanted to circle the averages per property type to show you just how much things have been kind of constant since the month of July, since the beginning of summer, and something I mentioned last month in my November housing market update. So detached is up a tad, This is versus October, November versus October this year. So month over month, detached is up a little bit, negligent. It doesn't mean anything. Semis and townhomes are down a little bit. Again, 2%. It depends on the properties, depends on the month, those kinds of things. So it's not a big deal. The point is, there's no huge plummeting. There's no this big drop, 7.2% here. You're not seeing anything even close to that here. In fact, condos only up down just a little bit month over month. And year over year, they're actually up almost 1%. So obviously that's negligible. 1% is nothing. But the point being that the plunging that people are talking about are predominantly in sales volume, which is very normal considering the crazy year we had. We can expect that kind of sales volume on a regular basis. So certainly we realtors aren't, and we're in the business. So this is just to show. First of all, yes, the prices are down from last year on average. So far this year, after those drops in July, from June to July, beginning of the year up to about June, as of July and forward, prices have been pretty much the same. Let me go on to the next one. So minimize myself even more here. Only moderate importance. So overall truck inventory currently, and this is December 21st as I'm doing this, is about 10,300, give or take. So obviously changes. Somebody gets sold, somebody gets pulled off, whatever it is. So that's for December, pretty normal. In fact, maybe on the higher side versus the past few years, they've been particularly busy. But nonetheless, as of the end of the year, a lot of listings will be taken off. The holidays listings will be taken off. I would expect January of 2023 probably starts somewhere around 8,000, something like that, which is actually a normal January, by the way. Definitely different than January of 2022 this year, which was, I think, was 3.5. And then the previous crazy January 2017, we had just over 4,000. So nothing like that. It's going to be a normal January. If anything, maybe even a little bit slower than normal. So let's look at historic annual statistics. This is important if you're watching the housing market. So now that we have towards the end of the year, at least we have a very good idea of where 2022 is going to end. So never mind the average price. I'm not sure you want to even look at that. 2010, sales 85,000, average price 431,000. That's less than half of what it is now. And that's only 12 years ago. So, 12 to 13 years ago, depending on how, what month it would be, because this is the average of the year. So the point is, wow, price-wise, if you think prices are going to be going down, there's going to be a bubble burst, and guys, honestly, let's look at the prices. I mean, you honestly think the GTA is going to come down to 400,000 on average? It's not a possibility. It's a mathematical impossibility at this point. So here's what I wanted to show you specifically. 2020, very busy year, contrary to what everybody was saying, except maybe myself and a few other people that are in the business. A lot of CMHC now, they horribly wrong. And of course, we were dealing with COVID at that time. So everyone thought, it was going to stop. No, 95,000. 2021 was 121,000. It's not shown here in terms of sales for the year. But notice 2018. 2018 was the last kind of slow year. And notice two things. One, 2018 is 78,000. And if you look over here, year to date, this year, we're at 72,000. Just over 72,000 sales. So we're going to be very close. My guess, as of the past few months, has been around 75, roughly where 2018 was. And yeah, that's where we're going to be. We're probably going to be with 75,000, 76,000 at the end of this year. That's my guess, and it's very normal. So the point is, it's a bit of a slower year, no doubt about it. A couple of things. First of all, in terms of price, do you honestly think, look at the differences. Even that slow year where the average price was 787, year to date, look at the average price. Do you notice a huge difference? Also, notice a particular interesting, and again, this is only 2010 forward, so I'm only covering about 12 years here, 121,000 sales in 2021. That will be back under here. But notice the sales numbers in terms of on average, 85, 89, 85, 87, 92, 101, 113. Wow, that was the record until 121, of course, in 2021. But notice 78,000. This is the slow year. And how many other, it's the only one. It's the only slow year of its sort that has happened. And why would this year be a slow year? For obvious reasons, you guys know as much as I do because, you probably watch these updates. So that's the point being, next year will probably be this or more, my guess. Why? Well, for one reason, it hasn't happened much at all. And all kinds of crazy stuff has happened. Remember the 2017 crazy market? And the 2020, that little COVID thing that happened? Remember that? So the point is, prices have been pretty steady since July. I think I've shown that. You can see it here, June to July. So this is the height. This is the height of the market. Obviously, this is the height of the market, February. Then March, things start to get a little wobbly. And then start coming down. Around March break time, right about the middle of March, things start to get wacky. April, 1 million, and then down. Notice June, drop to July, and then 73, 79, 86, onward, onward, onward. Pretty much the same price. From July, things have not changed much at all. So that's important to note because if nothing else I do in this video or in the past few videos, you'll walk away going, okay, since July, prices haven't really changed much. Is that what I'm hearing in the media or on the news? And if it isn't, I've learned from this day forward, take what they say, especially with the housing market, and mind other things, with a bit of a grain of salt. That's important because you want to know the truth, and that's one of the reasons I do these videos in the first place. So that's done. Market's about the same. It's leveling off as per usual in terms of towards the end of the year. We're almost into the holiday season. So things are going to be slowing down, which is all quite normal. So sales are still happening, prices still maintained for the summer. A quick summary, which is very, very important, especially at this time. I mean it. Overall sales in 22 will be close to 2018. I was guessing that for the past few months, and I was right. I was wrong, I'll admit it. In the beginning of the year, I was thinking that sales would be probably somewhere closer to 95 to 100,000 or something like that. That wasn't towards the beginning of the year. As soon as things begin to change, and historically quick increases in interest rates started happening, I adjusted that to somewhere around 2018, 78, 75,000, and so far that has been accurate. So a bit of a wrong in the beginning, and I changed it after that. More than happy to admit. So opportunity is still there, and this is something I want to discuss. I mentioned this last month. I want to discuss this with you guys very briefly now. There are opportunities. I know you don't think about real estate necessarily when you're thinking about the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, birthdays at that time, vacations over the 2 weeks off school, those kinds of things. Da, 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 da. Okay, absolutely. You're probably not thinking about real estate. And you know what? A lot of people are also not thinking about real estate. You know who is? People who are still in the market and want to sell. And serious buyers who are up to possibly looking at stuff over the holiday season. That's one. And two, are willing to realize that there are opportunities to be had during the holiday season. When there's bad weather, when there are so many distractions at this time of the year, for the buyer, there is a lot less competition. So if you're a seller and you want to sell and you're on the market on Christmas time, clearly you're serious. So if you're a buyer at this time, there are opportunities out there. Now, if you're a seller, you can still sell. Absolutely. I've sold things over the holidays. Absolutely. On the buy side, this is when you can get a decent deal. I say not good deal. I say not great deal because I don't want to feel like you think that it's opportunity to rip someone off or something of that nature. Clearly, that's not the case. You've seen what's been happening with the prices in general. So that seller is going to get a decent price for their home. But this is a time for some people to really win out. And again, as per usual, for the past few months, move-up buyers from condos, which have not taken nearly as big as a hit as detached, moving up to detached is a great opportunity, and upsize buyers from something smaller to something larger. Why? Because the smaller stuff tends to get hit less on the average price, which you saw, and more expensive stuff, which you probably want to move up to, has taken a bigger hit. Luxury homes especially, depending on the area. So the point being, there are opportunities out there. If you're a buyer, here's my recommendation. Enjoy your holidays, do your stuff, just don't stop looking. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to work with you, especially even over the holidays. I do tend to take some time off, but when it comes to clients doing stuff specifically, you want to catch a deal, oh, believe me, I've done it many, many years that I've had clients get great deals over the holidays. You guys really, really should take a look at that. Joe Gladdick, my buddy, the mortgage broker, mentioned it on Facebook just earlier today, so I have to make sure to mention it here. So that's what's happening. That's the stuff that you can do with the market right now. Inflation numbers, one of the reasons I waited to do this until a little bit closer to the middle end of December is as of the morning of November 21st. It should be December 21st. Forgive me. As of December 21st, this morning, these are the inflation numbers. So we are 6.8, down from 6.9, and we're at 6.9 before. Now, I know this isn't a huge thing, but it is a thing. It is down. And it's lower, and it is the first time it's been at 6.8. This is inflation year over year versus April. So when it got as high as 8.1, holy cow. I mean, let's face it. I know, it's way too high as it is. Some people really clearly need to be fired, whoever is in charge of the monetary system. Okay, that's fine. Whether you think that or don't, whatever. But the reality is, the actual numbers that's important to you specifically, is that we are heading down. So one of the things that has been consistently mentioned by a lot of politicians, a lot of people involved, is that inflation is the key. Inflation is the reason for the interest rates. The interest rates are higher to monitor, to get inflation down to a workable, manageable number. I don't remember what the goal is, but certainly they're going to goal is to get way down to 5, 4 and lower. I think it was 2% is the actual goal. I don't remember exactly. So notice it is come down 7, 6.9, 6.9. down 6.8. Here's what's going to happen. My forecast, feel free to hold me to it, for 2023, in light of what I just showed, the inflation rates. So maybe one more interest increase. We just had a zero point 0.5 interest increase, which is more than I anticipated. I was honestly surprised, I confess. I thought it was going to be a quarter. It went up to a full half, which tells me that there's a possibility of another interest rate, but it's not likely because I personally thought it was going to be a quarter and maybe another quarter sometime in January, February, whatever, of 2023. Doesn't look like the case here. So why should you care? As inflation goes down, the political pressure to stop reverse interest rates is going to go up. There's going to be pressure for whoever's in charge, I don't name names, to work on these interest rates because inflation's down. If you're telling me that the reason the interest rates are up is because of inflation and inflation starts coming down, what do you expect me to think? What do you think the pressure is considering how hard it is to buy a home in general? Yeah, the prices are down. Whoop de do. Now it costs you. Now your mortgage is what, another $1,000 per month or 1,500, 2,000. I've shown the numbers before in the past few months of my news, the market updates, the differences. And there's sometimes the difference are negligible in terms of price versus interest rate. It's just you're paying a lot more interest, and quite often the interest rate is actually higher on a monthly basis. So you're almost better off buying higher price, lower interest rate in the past. So as inflation goes down, there's going to be pressure to lower the interest rates. I expect, this is Andrew speaking, I expect interest rates to go down sometime mid-late spring or maybe early summer. Not a lot. It's not going to be cut in half or anything crazy, but even just a small drop, even just the indication of a lowering interest rate means that the market will likely continue as is until then, to that interest rate, and then pick up as rates start to go down. Because when interest rates go down, the market is, there's always demand. I've shown immigration numbers in the past few months. You guys can take a look at those. There's always demand. There's always immigration demand. And more immigration increasing, which means the more increasing of demand, more people looking to buy. And all this means the market will likely continue as is. So what I'm mentioning by as is, notice I put the 3 asterisks, and I'll mention this, that as the market is moving right now, as it's slowing down, we just had a 0.5 increase, which is not going to be interest rate. It's not going to be felt as much because it's November. This is the November numbers. We're well into the second half of December. Things are slow anyway, so you don't really see the effect. I have a feeling things may be slightly slow in January. If the interest rates go up anymore, even if it's a quarter, there's going to be a small time for a lull. The kind of lull I'm describing is one that maybe the prices might even go down a little bit more. So is there opportunity? That's a possibility. I don't know if it will happen. Is it going to be significant? Absolutely not. If you see the perfect home now, I would not wait another 2-3 months thinking, it's going to be down another 2-3%. Yeah, I can get a better deal. Yeah, no, that house won't be there. Let's be real. So that's the asterisk. That said, that's only going to last a very short time because, like I said before, the inflation rates going down, which means interest rates at some point in time will also have to start going down. You can't keep interest rates very high for a long time because, again, the political pressure is already on now for those people that are up there. And that's going to continue even more so as inflation numbers start to go down, which they should. They have to. So all that to say, next year, interest rates will probably go down, my thought, and which will lead to a busier market towards the second half of the year, maybe spring, but certainly summer and into the second half of 2023. So again, I'll mention opportunities there for you guys this holiday season. Market's not going to be tanking, not going to be bubble bursting. None of this stuff is going to be happening in the end of next year. I know I see comments on other YouTube stuff. I see comments. I see people mentioning this idea that maybe prices will be dropping, that kind of thing. Guys, you've seen the numbers. You've seen the kind of demand that there is. And if prices have not dropped that much, it's dropped 20%. That's a big enough drop, I think. If they have not dropped enough for you being that person who wants the market to drop even further, another 20, another 30%, honestly, it ain't going to happen. It just is not going to happen. The numbers are simply not there. We're still having multiple offer situations, even now in December of 2022, if you think things are slow. So all that to say, the market is still alive and well, and I do think that next year is going to be a busy year, and particularly busy once interest rates go down. So all that to say, guys, I wish you a fantastic rest of December. So I know I'm a little bit late with the Hanukkah, so I'll mention Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas to you guys. Have a fantastic holiday season. Again, I'm so utterly thankful, and I mean it, to those who not only watch this and provide encouragement to mentioning the stuff, you like the information, but also the clients, the former clients and current clients that watch this. I appreciate you. I really honestly do, and certainly my family does. So all the best to you guys. Enjoy your holidays. I always harp on taking some time off if you can. Take some days off. Even if it's just Christmas and Christmas Day, or maybe just New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, whatever it is, definitely take some time off. Have a chance to stop and reflect on the year, whatever you thought of it. whether it was great or maybe not so great, and into a new year with all the hopes and all the dreams that new year brings. Guys, I just wish you the best. I'll see you in the new year, 2023. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Take care of yourselves. Andrew the Realtor, out.